People open up the book and start right at this what you call the New Testament, and they haven't read anything prior. So everything, they're starting in the middle of the book, and they have no clue what's going on. They have no clue at all. So this is here a little and there a little. You got to piece it together that way. The New Testament is a reflection of the Old Testament. You have to understand the Old Testament in order to understand the New Testament. You need to go here a little and you need to go there a little. Isaiah 29 and verse 10. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers have he covered. God has a spirit of deep sleep on all people out there. He has a spirit of deep sleep on rulers, deep sleep on pastors. He has a deep sleep on all people out there. And that's why, because he doesn't, and the reason he has that on people is because he doesn't want all people to be able to understand this word. Remember, we already said that there's prerequisites. Once people start seeking and start trying to go back and find out the true God, then he'll start taking off that deep sleep. Then he'll start removing the deep sleep from you. And this is everybody. I mean, this is not just the viewers that are watching right now. Everybody had that deep sleep on before, including myself. I had that deep sleep. I remember trying to read the Bible years back, and this thing looked like, I'm telling you, it looked like I was trying to read German or something like that, or Russian. Some type of Russian language. I'm like, I don't know what this thing is. I'm trying to read the book of Matthew and one of Christ's parables. I'm like, I have no clue what this thing is saying. No clue. And then I'm reading things in the Bible. I know it says this in the Bible. Then I go to church on Sunday. I was going to church on Sunday, and you go ask the pastor the question, and he tell you something totally different than what's in the Bible. And I said, I know this ain't right. Something's not right about this. Something is not right about this. That was the deep sleep poured out. Everybody has this spirit of the deep sleep. But when you start getting your mind and shaking off the religion, you shake it all off, then that's when the spirit starts getting removed off you. You start taking that deep sleep spirit off you. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. It is, they say it is sealed. That's what happens. Who's the ones that learn? The ones that so-called go to their theologian schools and the seminary schools. Those are the ones who you would call learned in the Bible. And you say, okay, now open up the page to Revelations and tell them to break down one of those chapters in the book of Revelations. And they're going to say, oh, go to your pastor and ask them that. Find a preacher and ask them that. Tell them to break this down. Revelations 18, Revelations 17, Revelations 19. He's going to say, brother, that's sealed. Nobody understands that. That's why the churches don't go into the book of Revelations. You hardly see anyone going into that. And then when they do go into it, they destroy it and mar it and tear it up. Go off into something totally different. It's sealed. To them, they're saying, look, this thing is sealed up. All you have to do is believe. Don't worry about that. Just worry about the Gospels. Don't worry about the book of Revelations, or don't worry about this breakdown, or don't worry about this prophecy. That's what this is saying. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I am not learned. This is the person who didn't get any formal education in regards to the Bible. And you say, look, read this. And he say, man, I can't read that. I haven't went and got studied up on that. The whole thing is sealed. The deep sleep is on everyone, whether you don't went to a theologian school or whether you just a regular person out there who hasn't had any formal education on this subject. Everyone has the deep sleep on them, if you believe the Bible, according to the Bible. Wherefore the Lord saith, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. See, they're not going precept upon precept in the Bible. This is how God put that deep sleep on people. People are accustomed, and people like the precepts of men versus the precepts of God. So, okay, God says, if you want to do the precepts of men, This is how the deep sleeper is going to get upon you. You see it all throughout the churches. People get taught the precepts of men. And that's how God poured out that spirit upon you. He didn't do no sprinkle magic and blow some dust down and everybody's hypnotized. No, he used the people with the precept of men teaching you a lie over and over and traditions of men. And that's how you have become hypnotized and became inhabited by that spirit of deep sleep. And this, everyone this has happened to everyone. So it's not anything to feel ashamed about. But you got to snap out of it. And you stop doing the precepts of men and start doing the precepts of God. Isaiah 29 and verse 18. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book. It says, in that day the deaf shall hear the words of the book. It ain't talking about somebody who lost their hearing. It's referring to the spiritual deaf. Remember, the Lord poured out a spirit of deep sleep on people. So the eyes and the ears are in a state of deafness and a state of blindness. So God says in that day, there's going to be people that were deaf, meaning spiritually deaf. They're going to be able to understand the words that are coming out of the book. They're going to be able to hear it and be able to process it and understand what it's saying. Because even though you can read the precepts in the Bible to people, it still go through one ear and out the other. They just can't comprehend it because the stronghold of religion and traditions is what got a lock on their mind. And the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. And the people's eyes, meaning their spiritual eyes, are going to be open. They're going to be enlightened. They're going to be enlightened to be able to see, oh, this is what it was talking about. Or this is what it was saying. Now I understand. That's starting to happen. That's happening now with the Most High waking up the elect of Israel. But then eventually it's going to happen to a lot more people. A lot of people are going to be able to understand, okay, we've been lied to. You know, those things that we've been taught before were not correct. 1 Corinthians 13 verse 9. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. Even though the Israelites are the ones that's given the secrets of God, and he's given all of his mysteries to the Israelites, we still don't know everything 100%. We don't know everything 100%. He has not revealed everything to anyone yet. No one has got that spiritual revelation to understand the whole thing in the Bible, all the breakdowns in the Bible. There's a bunch of breakdowns in the Bible that people will not understand at this moment. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. But it says when that which is perfect is come, who is that referring to? Christ, Yahushua. He's the one that's perfect. It says when he's come, then the things that are done in part are going to be done away. Why? Because he's going to teach us all of the mysteries of the Bible. He's going to break it down. He's the Word of God. So he's going to break everything down. So there's no more prophesying in part. We're going to know in full